So Leigh, two of the biggest advancements in turbocharger technology over the last few years have been the advent of billet compressor wheels and as well as roller bearing turbo cartridges. Do you want to explain some of the differences between the two here and just a quick overview of what they are and what the benefits to the customers are?
No problem. Okay, here we've got your two different compressor wheel designs. Obviously your billet wheel here versus your old cast design. These are fine, OEM sort of standard stuff, no problem.
Yep.
But obviously in the performance side of things, when you are going to start cranking the boost up, you definitely want to be using a billet wheel. With the increased pressure, of course, and the rotating speeds of the turbocharger, this style can have a tendency to fail or explode. So you definitely want to be using a billet wheel for performance sort of work.
So the billet wheels, are they a little bit lighter as well?
They've
got
yes.
a little bit different blade design too, I see.
They do, completely different design. So obviously design of this is much more efficient versus this. This is perfect in your OEM daily driven car, but something where you're trying to achieve maximum performance, the increased efficiency and design of that compressor wheel is far and above this.
So pound for pound, same turbo, exactly the same wheel size, one with a cast wheel, one with a billet wheel, you'll generally see a little bit quicker spool time?
Generally speaking you would, because of the weight variation. You know, size for size, your billet wheel will of course be lighter, less rotating mass. So generally, yes, they will spool faster.
Probably the biggest advent in turbocharger tech over the last 10 or so years was the roller bearing cartridges. So bigger and bigger turbos coming in to make that kind of power, especially even guys making 1,000 horsepower on the street these days. They hit the throttle and they want that boost response instantly. This has really enabled people to run much bigger turbochargers on the street than they presently would have to counteract all that lag. Do you want to explain some of the points of a journal bearing turbo and versus that of a ball bearing turbo?
Okay, so in general, this is your journal bearing turbocharger. You've got two journal bearings here with your thrust bearing, and that is what's actually controlling the thrust load of the turbo. So the faster this turbo spins, the more load is being placed on your thrust bearing.
Yep.
With the journal bearings also, I mean, there is more friction there by design as well, as opposed to your ball bearing cartridge. So with the design of the ball bearing cartridge, you have dual row ball bearings inside here. That whole cartridge replaces all this mechanism here.
Yep.
And that essentially goes there. With that design, it has 10 times more greater thrust handling with that design as opposed to your journal bearing design.
Yep, no worries. So again, it's basically greater longevity, but also that greater, quicker spool response.
They do, definitely, yeah. The transient response with the ball bearings versus your journal bearing, much faster transient response.